Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. This is the completion video of the garage conversion on the Apex concrete panelled garage. You know, there's a lot of Apex concrete panelled garages in the UK, and obviously if you want to turn it into a nice, comfortable workspace, living space, games room, you're gonna have to spend a bit of money in terms of lining it with insulation and wood. So I've spent about £5,000 on the materials alone. And then when you factor into my labour time, it's taken me about 2 years to complete it, doing a little bit at a time. And then obviously other things you have to purchase, such as tools, flooring, mats. As you can appreciate, you get close to the £10,000 mark quite quickly. We've got 20 sheets, full 2 metre sheets by 1.2 metre, 12mm plywood for the walls and the roof, 18mm plywood for the flooring. We've obviously used 40mm Kingspan insulation throughout, apart from the garage area, the garage door area, where I've used some very thick polystyrene. All the videos on the playlist tell you how to do this, and I highly recommend you go and watch them all. So I wanted to do a completion video so you guys can see what I've done to the room. Obviously there's some extras here. Obviously we've got a beach pool table here, a 7-foot UK pool table. Obviously I've got lots of accessories. We've got a lot of balls over there, and we also have a lot of cues over there. Now I'll show you them as well. I've installed a 32-inch JVC TV. There's a small aerial on the outside, so we get free view television in here, as well as it's got, I think, a DVD player on the back of it. Obviously I've created a small gym area and workshop area. What we did was we put some EVA foam on the floor and some rubber sheets on top of that you would use typically in a gym. It's about 2 centimeters thick. They're high quality stuff, and I just basically taped it together with some Gorilla tape, to cover the seams. We put obviously an external side door, which is made out of metal. That cost me £800 to get installed by a company. We've lined that with 25mm insulation, and then on top of that there's a bifolding wooden door, and I'll show you that obviously. We've put some shelving up. Obviously I've wired everything up. I also have my pond electrics running through the roof, so basically it's a cabled, one of those secure hardened cables for running the power. It runs through the roof, out the back, and then this connects to the actual pond that we've got outside, because I've got a sleeper pond. If you want to check out my Yorkshire Koi channel, I will show you how I built that in that channel. So it's well worth going over to my Yorkshire Koi YouTube channel and watching me how I constructed that. So essentially we've got an armoured cable that runs through the roof, out the back of the garage, and then connects to the cupboard that I built to house all the electrics for the actual pond. So essentially this is the completed garage. Hopefully you find this video helpful as I talk you through everything I've done, and it's been a 2-year project. As I may be moving soon, I thought it'd be a good idea that I just show you what I've done. There's a lot to it. Just bear with me while I go through it all. But I would say I've spent about £5,000 in materials alone. I spent about another £1,000 on the pool table, probably another £1,000 on top of that with the pool balls and all the different types of cues. They can be quite expensive, some of the cues. Some of them are like £100 each, and I've got various ones. and obviously the various accessories that are available for a pool table like this. This is a 7-foot beach table. They're not easy to come by, but it is very nice to look at. As you can see, it's high quality, and that's it really. There's not more I can really say. So without further ado, let's do like a tour on the tripod. I've got the camera on the tripod, so it's going to be nice and steady so you can see everything, and let's get to it. So I'm just going to show you what I've got on the wall here. Obviously it's 12mm plywood, and we've got a nice triangle clock there, and futon chair down here, and obviously we've got our cabinets there full of pool balls, a nice ghetto blaster if we want to listen to music, a nice table with all our various chalks in there, as well as more pool balls. And I'll just show you the TV, which is JVC 32-inch TV. I basically had to extend the cable a little bit, doing some cable management on that little thing we've got there, just to hide the cabling. We have a plug socket there which has 2 USB sockets, good for charging phones and other devices. So if we move over, we have a white radiator that generates a lot of heat, another power socket. Moving over, you can see that I've got lots of pool cues, some American, some UK, some can be split into 2 and 3 and 4 bits, and then further down you can see we've got the workshop area and the gym area. Obviously I'll talk about what I've done with the flooring down there in a bit, but essentially that's how it looks from this angle. I did put a Bluetooth speaker and attached it to a bit of wood on the side of the wall. We have some dimmer lights there for the lights. I'll show you that in a second. And here we have a interesting pool light that I thought it'd be interesting to have in the garage. So if we just quickly turn that on, you'll see it lights up with red and blue neon lights. It looks pretty nice, I think. And essentially that's what we've got over here. And just one more thing further down here is another double socket. So I thought I'd just show you the lights that we've got up there, which is just standard spotlights that you'd find in any sort of roof. And then I've got 3 white light pool table lights, so it illuminates the pool table. As you can see, you just go down there, you'll be able to see that it illuminates the pool table quite nicely, and I think it makes the playing on this table more enjoyable having good lighting. So essentially that's what we've got here. Moving around, obviously we've mentioned what we've got various cues, and over here is the workshop area. So what I basically did was rip some of the plywood out and put a new column in that attaches to the concrete panels, and put some new shelves up. So that allows me to have the various tools high up, and obviously I've got my nice workbench there. So if I just zoom in, you'll be able to see that it's a nice workbench that you can do a lot of work on. Obviously I've put everything in there that I could to make it a bit more organised, and that's essentially what I've done over here. So looking at the workshop area, obviously on the back wall there is quite thick, 10cm thick polystyrene with a thin frame, and then on top of that we've got 5mm plywood. I wanted to create a wall that was easily removable, so that's quite a simple thing to do. if we needed to have access to the main doors, we can remove that wall quite easily and then put it back if we need be. Obviously I've created a bit of a gym area here, as you can see on the floor there. We've got some mats. This is the rubber mats I was talking about, the gym mats. They're 2 centimeters thick. On top of that, we do have some of that soft EVA foam just to add some insulation. Under that we have a vapor barrier, and then under that is just a concrete floor. So obviously we've got some dumbbell weights there. If you want to work out in here, you can. And it's quite cozy when you've got the heaters on. So it's quite nice in here. So moving over to this wall here, so you can see what I've done here. Basically I've got a bit of a CCTV system at the top. I've added some extra shelving units there. We've got 4 shelving units. I tend to keep all my pond related stuff in that area of the actual room. So moving on, let's have a look at the lights that I've put up at this end. So I've basically got a standard LED circular light that I put at that part of the room to illuminate the gym area and the workshop area. So I thought it'd be helpful to put that up there. I did have a long beam one up, but it was too long and I needed a bit of space between the door and the wall. So I had to, shorten the length of the garage a little bit to accommodate that circular light. Moving on, let's have a look at the door that I've installed. Now the door is basically a wooden bifolding door. I had to cut it down a lot so it would fit, and then we've added 2 locks. So if I just zoom in, we just got one of those night locks at the back of that door, and then just a standard deadlock there, as you can see. So it is quite secure. The door, obviously, because I had to cut it down, ain't going to be that super strong, but we've still got the metal door behind it. But I thought it'd be interesting to show you the door that I've installed. I've used some heavy duty hinges to do so. So if we just zoom in there, you can see these heavy duty hinges to hold the door in place, and it looks pretty nice. So let's just take a look at the metal door so you can see that from the inside. So on the inside of the actual metal door, it has just a normal lock. Let me just zoom in there and you can see, have a look at that lock. That basically just shuts the door whenever I need to. And on the back of the door, I lined it with 25 millimeter insulation board, and then got some aluminium tape and just taped it up to make it look half decent from the inside. And that basically adds insulation to the room. And then you've got the wooden door, obviously. So if we just close the wooden door, you will be able to see that it adds an extra layer of insulation to the actual room. So we can lock that door, like so. And obviously any sort of heating we've got on, it's like double layered insulation because it's a wooden door. Wood has its own value of insulation. The reason they use the insulation board is it's a lot cheaper than lining the entire room with solid wood. But it is a good thing to do, to put a wooden interior door in. It just adds extra warmth to the room, and that's why I basically put this in place. It's not really for security as such, it's just to add an extra layer of insulation around the door, because you will lose a lot of heat around doors. So that's why I put an internal door there. So moving on, just to give you another look at the lights. However, a different type of light we've got here is a single columned LED light there. There was another one, as I've said, but I took it down and put a circular one further down. Essentially, that's really everything described. If we just have a look at the pull cues, maybe you'll find this interesting. I thought you'd find this interesting to have a look at the pull cues that we've got here. So basically we've got various pull cues. Some are maple American ones that are 57-inch, others are full snooker 3-part and 2-part cues, and I like the old style ones as well that can be separated into 4. If we just zoom in there, you'll be able to see one of those. They do warp a bit, however, because they're quite old. They came out in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And then a set of cheap cues over here. So we've got all the cues you could ever want to play pool and snooker, and that's essentially the garage conversion completed. It took a lot of work. You'll probably end up shouting a lot of the time because you end up cutting yourself or doing wrong cuts, making mistakes along the line. But I think once you've done it, as you can see here, it's well worth it. So I'm just going to do a bit of a circular pan so you can see everything. Hopefully the camera is quite steady for you to see. I put a Bluetooth speaker there as well on a little stand, so if you want to listen to a bit of music or tunes, you've got that possibility. We've got a CCTV system here. I've got 3 cameras basically monitoring outside just in case. A nice punch bag to do some working out, and obviously more tools and places to put them. That's why I wanted to put some nice big shelving up, just so we've got a place to keep things nice and tidy. I know it looks a little bit of a disorganised at the moment, but don't worry, we'll get around to that at some point. Moving on, again, we've got the cues and some nice stools that you can sit on. We've got that radiator there, which does really a good job. Now the full room is insulated, I only need to put that on. I don't need other heaters as I did before. Again, we've got lots of pool balls at the bottom there in a cabinet. I think it's a nice addition to have a nice TV so you can watch something while you're playing. Maybe you want to watch the snooker. Obviously some nice lights. So we've got the pool lights as well as the dining room lights. Obviously a nice triangle clock. I put a futon chair down there. It turns into a mini bed. You could potentially stay in this room overnight, but because it's not certified for building regs, it's just usable really as a playroom or an office. Obviously I put a nice pool light there, a nice pool sign that lights up. Only cost me about £10 I think. Now originally, if you look at my old videos, there was a single paned window which would be easy to break into. I ended up removing that and putting a double glazed smaller window in that does open. So let me just demonstrate that. You know, you can open that up and it opens up and closes, and then obviously I've got some blinds that come down and cover that window up if you need to. So that's another step that I went to. I put some chairs in here to make it easy to sit down, because sometimes the stools are a bit too high. A nice fan if it gets really warm in here during the summer. And essentially that's more or less everything done really. Obviously I've done a bit of work with the electrics as I've done in the other video, and obviously that's it really. I think that's as much as I can really go on and discuss. I hope you found this little tour helpful and interesting, so you get to see everything as I do this circular pan. The pool cues, you can pick them off eBay quite cheaply. Depends if you want a quality one. Quality ones will set you back about 100 quid. Cheap ones might cost you 10 to 20 quid. And you can spend a lot more on that if you want to. So that sort of rounds up the tour. I hope you found this video interesting to listen to. If you want me to do a Q&A video about the total costs, you know, go through absolutely every little thing I bought, which will be quite boring to listen to, I'm happy to do that. Again, please like the video, I would appreciate it, and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and leave comments, because if you want to leave comments just to ask some basic questions, please do so. But again, thanks for watching. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.